we may just have a very influential advocate on our side when it comes to monthly benefits, including Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB, as this person is saying no go on the stimulus package until we get further clarification. Yes, all of that to be covered in this video. Let's get into it right away as we have a lot to talk about. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video as it's totally free to do so, and I am back for you every single day to help out in any way that I possibly can, as I understand it is incredibly difficult. It's a struggle out there and we really need additional support during this time. Not only that, I am very much committed and dedicated to bring you honest, accurate, reliable, and transparent information every single day in these videos. As I do tons of research, I boil it all down into these short videos and do whatever I can to help you out. So if you like the sound of that and you want to be part of this community, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. And by the way, everybody is welcome to be here. I sincerely appreciate it. Let's get into it right away. So we got some new information out just the other day out of a very influential Senator, Joe Manchin. You've probably heard this name before. We've talked about him many times here on the channel. Joe Manchin just so happens to be one of the main people that we need to watch when it comes to this reconciliation bill. The reason is, we know that right now this reconciliation bill is being orchestrated by the Democrats, right? So Democrats are taking full charge of this $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. They are steering its way through Congress with partisan support. No Republicans are on this thing because it's reconciliation. They don't need Republicans to support it. They simply need all Democrats to take support this thing. Well, with that being said, they also need all 50 senators in the Senate on the Democratic side to support this thing. Otherwise, it might not make its way through the Senate. Well, Joe Manchin just so happens to be one of these very influential people. He is one of the moderate Democrats, and usually he is in there kind of stirring the pot a little bit, if you know what I mean, making some waves when it comes to these packages. In fact, one of the last packages, he added a pretty nice provision in there that got a lot of money back from many millions of people from 2020. Yeah, a lot of people got, $1,000, couple $1,000 back in some instances simply because of one of his very simple demands that he added into the package at the very last minute. However, as we look at this reconciliation bill, he was out just the other day in a statement and basically said he told his fellow Democrats to push the pause button on this reconciliation bill. Sounds kind of bad, right? Well, it's not actually bad. It's not as bad as you think it is. Even though he's telling his fellow Democrats, hey, we got to push the pause button on this thing. We got to slow down for a minute and we've got to calm down for a minute on this reconciliation bill. Let me talk you through it a little bit further. So he reached out to his fellow Democrats and said, push the pause button on the reconciliation bill. And he went on to say that he would not be in support of this reconciliation bill, this level of spending, until he gets further clarification from Democrats and Congress as a whole as to the severe impacts of inflation and debt on already established government programs. In other words, Social Security could be in there, retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, SSI, VA, and RRB. So, with that being said, he said he's basically not going to support this level of spending at this time, the $3.5 trillion. Now again, I know it sounds like a bad thing, but realistically, it's not that bad of a thing quite yet, because he's demanding that Congress gives him clarity and answers as to why they want to continue pushing through so much spending in this next package, at the same time sacrificing some of these other programs like we just mentioned, Social Security, SSI, SSDI, RRB, all of these programs. Here's the thing. This comes as no surprise. We've talked about this many, many times right here on the channel. These programs are kind of really struggling right now. What I mean by that is people who receive these benefits, it's not getting easier every month. It's getting a little bit harder every month, right? So let's just say, for example, you're getting $794 each and every month from SSI. Maybe you're getting $851 from SSDI, or maybe $662 from SSDI. Or maybe you're getting $1,000 of Social Security retirement benefits. Or maybe you're getting, I don't know, $1,000 from VA benefits. Something like this. We all get it. Everybody's living, well, that receives these programs anyway, benefits from these programs, is living on a fixed income. Your income is not adjusting each and every month. But guess what is adjusting each and every month? Inflation. Now, here's the thing. We've talked about this, and we all recognize that prices continue to rise very rapidly out in the real world right now. Goods and services that you were buying a year ago do not cost anywhere near the same today as what they did 1 year ago. I think all of us recognize this. It seems like almost every time we go to the store, we're paying more and more for the same goods and services that we were buying a year ago, even just a matter of a few months ago. So, with this request out of Joe Manchin, basically saying, hey, Congress, I need some answers. We need to understand some answers why this level of spending is acceptable, considering it is putting into jeopardy all of these other already established government programs. So I think a lot of us here in this community are probably thinking, hey, we need a survival check. We need some additional assistance. We need more money during this time going forward. We need permanent raises to our benefits. The reason for that is because inflation continues to rage on. If inflation wasn't doing anything, as far as if it was just kind of remaining stagnant like it was for so many years, really not rising at the rate that it is now, it would be a little bit more sustainable to live on the benefits that everybody's receiving right now. Now, I totally get it. We certainly need more benefits. There's no doubt about that. Everybody needs more benefits. We need raises to these benefits. We need more relief across the board. But one of the main reasons for why all of this relief is needed so incredibly badly right now is because of the inflation that continues to rage on, and it's been going for over a year now. Pretty much a year and a half inflation. Every single month, over and over, 0.5%, 0.7%, 0.9%, month over month. That's a lot of inflation on a short-term basis, which ultimately, like we've talked about before, your monthly benefits that you're getting each and every month are not going quite as far, right? Maybe you get $600, $800, $794, whatever it happens to be. Your money is not going as far, right? Maybe your rent has stayed the same, but, we all know how that goes. Every time your lease renews, yeah, they love jacking the rent, right? Yeah, who's experienced that one? Yeah, I think all of us can be there, right? We've certainly experienced that. So here's the thing. We know that every time that we get the payments come out, we pay the rent, we pay the utilities, and then you're left with whatever amount that is. Maybe it's $100, maybe it's $150, maybe at the most. And then we have a little bit left. Go to the grocery store, you buy the necessities. Oh, wait, just kidding. Everything has gone up another 10% this week. Just kidding. Our money is not going as far. So at the same time that Joe Manchin is telling everybody to put the pause button on this reconciliation bill, it's actually not such a bad thing temporarily, simply because we do need more answers out of Congress, and maybe this will get the people over in the chambers there, maybe start to think a little bit. Maybe they'll put their thinking cap on. Remember that from school? When you sit there in class and your teacher says, put your thinking cap on. It's time to come up with some ideas. Do you remember that? I don't know about you, but my teachers used to say that all the time. Thinking caps. So anyway, maybe they can put their thinking caps on and come up with some ideas as far as how fixed income beneficiaries / low income people, people who are living on a low income right now, can actually get some additional relief during this time. And as we've been calling out for so long now, we know the perfect solution, right? We've already mastered this. We know exactly what it could be. It could be in the form of a survival check, $2,000. It could be in the form of recurring monthly payments. Again, it wouldn't be that hard to figure out. I mean, we know what the answer is. We know that it could be in the form of Universal Basic Income, UBI, GBI, Guaranteed Basic Income, or GI, Guaranteed Income. It's the same thing, just two different names for it. We also know that it could be permanent raises to benefits, like what we've been mentioning throughout this video, right? There's so many different ways that they could approach this. But yet it seems like, well, once again, maybe they're just kind of hanging around, not really doing much, but maybe, just maybe, we'll get some kind of answers out of them, and we'll get somebody to come forward because they need Joe Manchin's vote. They desperately need the vote out of Joe Manchin. Now, here's the thing. With Joe Manchin, he is one of the 50 senators where they need his vote. If they don't get his vote, it's not going to pass. So Joe Manchin knows this. He recognizes that he's a very powerful and influential person, just like any other person could be in the Senate, except for Joe Manchin is the one person stepping up saying, hey, this is what we need. Just like Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders and Joe Manchin are kind of similar in that same respect. They're kind of on opposite sides of the spectrum, but ultimately they both recognize, hey, they have a lot of power when it comes to voting because they need their votes. Without their votes, it will not pass. Will not pass. So, yeah, they know that they have kind of the cards stacked in their favor, and they know that they can pretty much leverage their vote and get pretty much anything that they want because without it, you got a no deal, right? It's not a deal at all. So anyway, pretty interesting stuff. But either way, I'm going to continue watching this very, very closely. It is certainly a very busy time right now. We've got so much going on. Literally, the month of September is going to be jam-packed, especially as we get further into the month. The further we get into the month, the more packed and more fierce it's going to get. Yeah, it's only going to get more intense from here on out. So anyway, I hope this kind of lays it out, lets you know what's going on as far as the reconciliation bill and the latest updates out of Joe Manchin and what he's thinking. But we've got to keep an eye on him as well as Bernie Sanders. I would say these two guys right here are some major players that are very influential in the Senate. So I'll continue watching them. I'll bring you back any updates as we get them. But thanks again for your support. I truly appreciate it. Make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video. Share this one with your friends, family, social media, or any other videos right here on the channel. And of course, go back and check out some other videos here on the channel as well. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. And again, I will see you in the next video. Just remember, I'm always here to help you in any way that I possibly can.